Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again. August 17th, 2020. I got some real talk. So let us deal with real talk. We, people of color, blacks, and the poor, we've always been at the bottom. Always been at the bottom. There have been those at the top and everything in between, but we've always been at the bottom. That's by design. But we were not made to be at the bottom. We were made to be everything to everyone. We don't know that. We haven't seen that. We haven't been taught that. People of color, blacks and poor. This is time for real talk. The designers of this system love this system. They love the system the way it was. And they have designed to take it back. All of your think tanks around the world, those that seen and those that are not seen, have come to the conclusion that it is time to take the nation back rather than go forward. Their premise is hate. Their premise is superiority. Their premise is divinity over the earth. They design it that way. People all over the earth have suffered pain, disgust, inhumanity as a result. It is the evidence of evil, because no one wants to live in situations like this. And it is the fear of an eternity in living like this that keeps us in bondage to this. We don't want to die. Ladies and gentlemen, sisters and brothers, the game is constantly played, always played. 400 years of being treated as a second-class citizen, putting up with it over and over and over and over again. Racist, hatred leaders of the country, effectively keeping you conformed to your own bondage. Yes, this is a reality. You remember Black Wall Street, down in Tulsa, Greenwood? Anytime black people rise up, and black people got the power, they got the know-how, even copying the systems of this country. And what happens? The evilness of this country comes and burn it down. Ladies and gentlemen, sisters and brothers, people of color and the poor, this nation is founded on, and I'm sure the world, what you got. This is why we have said, see, that money is so important to them. And the gun is the enforcer. But they have brought us to a point, ladies and gentlemen, where we can't lose. We have suffered since the beginning, it appears. And so suffering is not a strange thing to us. And we can suffer and are willing to suffer for the right reasons. We got the right reasons. Life is at our door. All we have to do is turn the knob open and step into life. Life is always there. We step into life. And how do we do that? By recognizing that the power of life is not mankind and man's rule, but a power that we can't see, can't touch, can't feel, giving us the authority under righteousness, because our efforts does not cause pain and suffering to anyone, but liberation to experience that which is good, that which is right. And so today, when we have in the White House an evil man, a racist man, whose role is to play a major part in going back to white supremacy and everybody else in bondage. But black people have endured. We know the score. The score is in righteousness. And so what we do, we stand. Now there are those amongst us, ladies and gentlemen, who believe in defending themselves. And when someone with a gun come up against them, they will do likewise. They will fight for justice with the gun. There are those of us who don't believe in killing. But there are those of us who believe in justice. The superior white people of this earth have shown us what's important to them. When George Floyd, an example from God to the whole world to see what's really going on in the world. Tough talk, but real talk. Letting you know that the world is not going to change on its own. Those that you have chosen to be leaders are not going to change it because they have taken an oath to protect. You see, when you're peacefully protesting, that's okay. But when you say you've done this over and over and over again, and peaceful protesting is not enough, and you throw a brick through a window or snatch down a roof because you're really pissed off and you want them to know that you're really pissed off. Why do you want them to know? Because you want them to care. You want them to do something about it. But because they don't care, they send the dogs out. They send the most inhumane of our humanity out with knives and guns and tear gas and trucks and bombs and bullets to force you to take it anyway. That's evil, ladies and gentlemen. That's evil. That's the way of evil. Listen to me good. When your mayor and when your governor seem to stand behind you, but when you stand up and say, this is not enough, we got to demand more. We got to pressure you more. And you start causing some destruction on that which is important to them. How do you know it's important? Because they told you it was important. When they burned and destroyed Black Wall Street, they told you what was important. Tearing up what you had built up. So if you want to battle them, you got to tear down what they've been building up. What they've been building on top of the world. Themselves. And what they are about. Well, you tear that down, first of all, by saying no more. And when they bring the force against you, there are those that will fight. But those of you who are really poor, you know you got nothing to lose. Those of you who are sleeping in tent cities. Those of you that's on the corner with a sign begging. Even you got power. You got so much power. And it's called a match. A match. You don't own a thing. But everything that's important to them stands up around you. That's why they want to keep the wars way someplace else, not here, because this is important to them. How important is it to them when they destroy you continuously and don't want to fix the problem? And when you stand up, they want to bring the military, not just the National Guard. They want to bring the military in the streets. Well, let the military come. Because every bullet that is fired from the military, every effort that is made to destroy the people will destroy that which they consider is important to them. But we know that doesn't matter. They did have the Civil War. They were willing to lose it all. And they lost it all, many of them. And so they've been struggling ever since. But this time, it can be bigger than that. They eradicated Black Wall Street. Now they've given you the power to eradicate the United States of America. Am I saying do this? I'm not saying do any of this. I'm saying stand up for peace. Stand up for prosperity. Stand up for justice. Stand up for joy of life. Stand up for the fulfillment of dreams. Stand up that no people will suffer a lack of food or clothing or shelter or education or health care or an expression of their careers that they've been given to contribute in this process. Stand up that these things will be met. And whatever road standing up for this takes you, then you take it head on. Righteousness will lead the way. Righteousness will lead the way. Evil can't defeat that. Stand up. Now, even though you're praying right now that the Democrats get in and that Donald Trump is defeated, let me tell you something. Donald Trump loves himself. And there's no way he's going to do anything to make this election come off smooth, or even to make it look like it come off smooth. Everything he does is going to try to throw a monkey wrench in it, so he can stay in power as long as he possibly can, so he can tear down the system as much as he possibly can, abuse it, and protect himself. That's what it's all about. It's about protecting himself. That man knows he's evil. He knows all of his evilness has been exposed. He knows that it's filled with breaking the law. And he knows that he should be doing time for the rest of his life for the crimes that he's perpetrated against the system. He knows that. But he wants to protect himself from that. And if he had to blow up this darn country to protect himself, then he can get away. He'll do it in a heartbeat. That's what the American people, all of the hate combined together, have put in the White House and gives it support every day. But you know what? Righteousness, my friends, can beat that. You know why? Because there is a God. And when righteousness has done everything that righteousness can do, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. See, God is no fool. God is real. This is real talk, and this is tough talk. And you got to be real. You can't play with God. You can't pretend with God. Why? Because the effects, the outcome of what you're doing is going to be half-stepping. It won't get you there. That's the evidence. Let me tell you, God is with you. When you've done all you can, when you lifted up goodness in the goodness that you seek for yourselves, you seek it for everybody. When you lifted up compassion, and that compassion that you lift up is extended to all. When you've lifted up needs, wants, and desires being met, and you lifted it up for everyone. Hey, who but evil can bite that? And who but one who is totally ignorant can support evil? Well, the message that you have heard today is so truthful and it is so divine that it understands that there is something within each of you who heard this message that clicked, and you said, right on. You've really been knowing it yourself all along, but you know it is contrary to the way the system or the world works. And so why waste your time on something that seems impossible? Well, ladies and gentlemen, listen to this. When we have done all we can, and see, the thing about when you do the right thing, it doesn't truly matter the outcome. You know what the outcome is supposed to be. You know that the opposition stands to prevent it from being. But because it is right, you stand for it anyway. You stand for it anyway. And when you come head to head, and you will come head to head with evil, because evil is going to be there to stop it. And all you got on your side is right. And let's say, just for this particular example, evil has the button. And evil, my friends, will push the button. You stand for what is right. And you can't do anymore. It is at that moment in time when God, your heavenly Father, will appear. Why and how? Because that man, that evil, will push that button. And you know what will happen? Nothing. And so his whole defense is gone. And who gets the glory? God. But how did God get to this point? You brought him here. You brought God here. You gave God the opportunity to shine before the world in broad daylight, to do what no other can do. And it's all about love. Think about it. Till next time, ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Marcus saying goodbye.